You ready?
Yeah, I think so. We haven't been anywhere in the cold in like over a year. Contemplating whether to bring this or not. What do you think? This season was crazy, sailing from South Africa up the coast of Namibia, crossing the Atlantic. We spent like 6 months in Brazil, and then into the Caribbean. I think we sailed like 10 or 12,000 nautical miles or something like that.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's been an epic season, but it's time for a little bit of a change to balance life out. We're about to trade in the boat life for van life for a while. And in true Delos fashion, we know absolutely nothing about where we're going.
All right, let's do it. These are the many ways that Iceland can kill you. Wind, falls, exposure and getting lost, sneaker waves, trail hazards, scalding thermal water, avalanches, volcanoes, earthquakes, and angry birds. This is pretty much the first research that we've done for Iceland because we've been so busy, so I'll read it on the plane on the way there.
Attention all passengers. Now boarding flight 688 with non-stop service to Reykjavik, Iceland. Please proceed to the boarding gate now.
Hello dreamer, you've been dreaming for so long.
Today we're gonna dive between two tectonic plates at SILFRA in Iceland. So I am putting layers on.
Because unlike most of our dives, we're gonna stay dry today, hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna be diving in dry suits, so you load up on layers and then you stay warm and hopefully dry.
Once we got ourselves and our cameras set up, it was time to see what cold water diving was all about. We had completed our dry suit training earlier in the month, thanks to a couple of our amazing patrons, Kim and Gino. Although we had the chance to practice the difference in buoyancy, nothing could have prepared us for the ice-cold water that we were about to jump into.
It's like a big floating marshmallow. It feels so weird.
Ridiculous. Hey Blue, what do you think about that changing room?
It's pretty awesome. It's kind of key for out here because any part of your skin that's showing gets cold real quick.
Forward it goes. Yep, and then you know you're diving with good people if they want to ride your skateboard.
Yeah, I was ready to ask if I want to try. Nice to meet you, Brady. Brady, nice to meet you, Nino.
Nice to meet you, Nino.
SILFRA is really an amazing place, guys. Probably the most cool dive you can actually do in Iceland. It's really important just because it's the only place on Earth where you can dive between two tectonic plates.
What plates are they?
The massive cliff over there is the edge of the North American tectonic plate. The long line in the other side, you can see over there, there is the beginning of the Eurasian tectonic plate.
Crazy.
So at the moment we are in
no man's
land, literally. And in theory we are in Europe now, but actually Europe start or finish over there. Mainly here with the tectonic plate they are drifting apart.
Yeah.
So with this tension create cracks. SILFRA is one of the cracks.
And how long have you been diving here?
1 year and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah, after 5 years in the Caribbean.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm scuba diving started for the last 5 years.
In the Caribbean?
Yeah.
And then you come here?
Yeah.
You're like, I just want to change it.
Yeah, change.
We felt like we could relate to Nino's lust for something new. After years of diving into warm water, the chance to dive SILFRA was one of the main things that drew us up to Iceland. But as we spent almost an hour suiting up in our 5mm crushed neoprene suits, I couldn't help but gain a new appreciation for how simpler warm water diving is.
How's it feel?
It's so different, man. Like, we've been out here already like an hour just suiting up. And like on Delos, you know, you just kind of
Now I fold
put on some board shorts and jump straight into the water.
So guys, today I will be your guide in the water in SILFRA. And SILFRA, guys, means silver in Icelandic. The visibility in the water here, guys, is really massive. Here is no less than 300 feet. Because the main source of water is the Longjökull glacier. Longjökull means long glacier in Icelandic, and is the second biggest glacier in Iceland. All the water, guys, melt from the ice and snow and passing through the lava rocks for 35 miles to arrive here. To do the 35 miles, guys, the water, it takes between 50 and 70 years and comes outside super clear. The water is 30 times clearer than the water you buy at the supermarket. So it's just H2O, literally. The problem, guys, with the two tectonic plates are moving and drifting apart about 1 inch every year, create earthquake. So actually in this area we have something like 100 earthquake a day. Questions so far?
What's the water temperature now?
The water temperature is refreshing, let's say. the water arrived from the glacier, and we are in a place called Iceland, so it's not that warm. This is something like 2 Celsius or 36 Fahrenheit. So it's a bit extreme, guys. It's super. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I really love this. But something should be wrong.
Perfect. Nino. I feel like I'm about to go skydiving or something. Like it's been built up for so long.
Your lips are so swollen.
No, it's also a bit bigger. 3 bottles.
Is it good, guys?
So
yeah.
cold,
It is fucking cold though, bro.
It is.
Yeah,
It's so good.
This is the price to pay, bro. It's not
That's
too
so
easy.
cool, man.
We spent the next couple of days adjusting to 24 hours of light and getting into the swing of van life. There are definitely some similar aspects that we were already used to after living on a sailboat. Living in a small space, considering water and propane use, making do with a very small fridge, and treating our home like a puzzle piece of sorts. The only real struggle we had was trying to decide how to see as much of this beautiful country as possible in just 10 days. After diving SILFRA, we found ourselves in the famous Golden Circle. We usually try to avoid overly touristy areas, but there was just too many incredible spots to check out before we ventured off the beaten path.
This place is crazy.
Yeah, it's really crazy. This island is like on fire underneath.
Very alive.
Yeah, it's really cool. So the water that's coming from underground that's melted from the glaciers, there's an area where the lava from under the magma is heating up this water, and it's starting to boil up through, and because our altitude is higher than the sea level, it boils at a lower temperature, so it's steaming off, and then eventually it steams so much it creates like a pressure vacuum, and then it goes and shoots off, dumps like half of the water out in like the geyser pipe, and then sinks back down, and then it builds up pressure again over time.
Oh, crazy.
So sometimes it happens every 10 minutes if it's really active, or sometimes every couple days. Nobody really knows.
And how hot is this water?
This water's super hot. It's like 100 degrees Celsius.
We knew with all this thermal energy moving about, we had a pretty good chance of finding some springs to soak in.
Our sunny day has turned to cloudy and rainy and windy like Iceland is supposed to do, and we are right here. And we're gonna, I think it's like a 3.5 kilometer walk up here somewhere, and then there's hot rivers that we can swim in.
Thermal rivers.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Most of the pools that we've seen so far are really like clear and blue, and this one's super brown and agitated. The water's literally boiling in it. It's like bubbling up like.
In English, Reykja Dalur translates into Steam Valley. Its heat comes from Mount Hengil, which is an extinct volcano that was active about 120,000 years ago. After the water rises up from the ground, it trickles down this river and makes it the perfect temperature for us to enjoy.
Your body just goes and loosens right up.
Yeah. What do you think the temperature is?
It's not that hot, maybe 40.
Today is Wednesday, which means we've been in Iceland for like 3 or 4 days. And our original intent was kind of to drive all the way around the island, and we got kind of hung up in the Golden Circle because there's so many cool things there. And we wanted to go up to the West Fjords because we heard there's some sorcerer action up there, as well as puffins. And actually someone who watches Delos reached out to us and said he's working at a campsite in Patrick's Fjord. Besides that, there's some cool waterfalls, some cool hot springs, and I'm just excited to hang out with a local and have him tell us about Icelandic stuff, because we really haven't met anyone yet. We've kind of just been driving around in the van, meeting some tourists. Our dive guide was Italian, so that'll be really cool. Doesn't really feel like nighttime, does it?
Right now it is 8:56 at night, and the sun just popped through the clouds over there behind us, and it seems like it's probably 3 in the afternoon, something like that. It's crazy. It's such a different feeling to like not have the sunset at this time, because you still feel like you're energized and awake to get shit done. We ain't in Grenada no more. I've never been through a tunnel so long. Humans are crazy. Look at that.
So I think one of the most impressive things about Iceland so far, among the long list, is that when you're driving along the roads and you're headed to a destination, it takes so long to get there because there's so many places to stop along the way, even places that you didn't expect, you know? Like we're just driving along the road here and all of a sudden we see this crazy huge waterfall on the side of the road. Absolutely incredible, but stuff like that, I mean, that's not even on a list or a map or anything of places to go see. It's just here driving along the side of the road. For some reason the horses really like Brady's skateboard. It must sound like what they get fed from or something because they're like all super keen. Hi, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous. Look at those eyes. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the West.
Thank you. We're in the middle of nowhere, it feels.
Yeah. I was thinking about telling you about the roads, but then you wouldn't probably go.
How are you, man?
No,
good
it's
to meet you,
awesome,
bro.
man. It took us pretty much all day to get here because we stopped like 50 times to film. Beautiful.
I think it should have taken us like 3.5 hours, but
4 hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
We left at like 11 and it's 8 p.m. It took us like 9 hours.
Yeah.
Nothing's better than seeing a country through the eyes of a local. So we took the chance to ask Christian some questions about Icelandic culture.
It's a very Icelandic thing to take your baby, like your 6-month-old baby, and like dress it up, and you will put it outside in a baby stroller to sleep, and the baby will sleep very well, even though it's like -4 degrees outside. We smoke the lamb meat with sheep shit, and yeah, it gives it a good flavor. So when you're downtown partying and see a nice girl and want to hook up with him, but you aren't sure if it's your cousin or not, so you would just take your phones and bump it into each other, and it would be like, yeah, you're related, or you know you're not related, so you could go home with this person or not.
Not only did Christian teach us about local traditions, but he was also stoked to show us one of his favorite spots.
Yeah, this is the hottest one.
You're going deep with it.
Oh, it burns!
Go get in that one. Get in this one first.
In a very good way.
It felt pretty surreal to arrive in the West Fjords. And for the first time in our trip, we had the chance to slow down and just be. It's places like this that are my favorite to travel to. Those hidden gems in the world that still feel untouched. The day of the week, or even what year it is, didn't matter much in comparison to the 16 million year old fjords that surrounded us. And in the best way possible, our time in the West Fjords felt like an escape from reality. Where magic truly does exist. And the next paradise is always just around the next bend.
What does it look like, Blue?
Sheep, it's like heaven.
Having the chance to explore this place with a stranger who became a friend isn't something that will be easily forgotten. But before heading back south, there was one more spot we just had to see.
Where we at, Blue?
We drove out into the middle of nowhere to Latraberg, and it is the westernmost point of Iceland and therefore the westernmost point of Europe, and also supposedly the biggest bird cliff in Europe. And it's primarily puffins out here, although I think there's a few different species. And we're just gonna go creep on them. Apparently they don't care much about tourists, so we can hopefully get some good shots.
It really looks like something out of like, I don't know, Game of Thrones or something. It's such a sheer drop with the fog. Let's go find a puffin.
And we didn't have to walk very far along the 440 meter tall, 14 kilometer long cliff to find what we were looking for. There were millions of birds about, including fulmars, guillemots, and the star of the show, puffins! It turns out that more than half of the puffins in the world are thought to breed here in Iceland. So although they spend most of their lives out at sea, they do find their way back to land to mate and raise their little pufflings. These beautiful creatures can dive up to 60 meters and flap their wings 400 times a minute, since their bones aren't hollow like most birds. I couldn't think of a more endearing way to end our time in the West Fjords.
Where the N1 is next to the KFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll meet you at that N1.
Okay, see you there.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Who dat?
This guy is like the pioneer of SILFRA. So
What?
like, yeah, in the late 90s and early 2000s, he was the one diving it and kind of opened it up to tourism.
No.
Yeah.
Crazy.
At least that's what he told me through Messenger. And he saw that we were diving SILFRA, and he saw our photos and stuff, and he happens to live here. And it kind of worked out perfectly because he also can guide us to the glacier.
Sweet.
So we're gonna meet up with Matthias. He seems like a really cool dude, and experience another Icelandic local.
Sweet.
I'm beginning to see the theme. Like always, we try and find different themes, but it's always about the people.
Totally.
No matter what. Matt, say good morning to the camera.
Hi, good morning, camera.
So we're gonna see the South Coast today through the locals' eyes, which is gonna be really cool. No better way to experience it.
So this is pretty exciting because we've been geeking out on all the cool cars we've seen driving around, taking pictures of them and everything. And I know if we passed this one on the road, I'd have to like pull over and try and get a photo of it, and now we actually get to ride in one. And this guy drives like a madman, like a true local, just like passing everyone left and right. So it's gonna be a good ride.
And we don't have to drive. We have one more person now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Your chauffeur for the day.
Awesome, Matt. Let's do it.
So here we are at base of Sólheimajökull, and at the time they built not this parking lot, this parking lot actually in 1999. The glacier, the parking lot was right beside the glacier. Today we're gonna walk 1 kilometer to go to the glacier.
Earned it a little bit.
20 years, it's almost gone. So in 80 years, this glacier will definitely not be here. And the sad thing about it, we can do something to save ourselves, but I doubt that we will save the glaciers. In 150 years from now, I sincerely doubt that there will be any glaciers in Iceland. Yeah, sad thing.
So this all used
used to be glacier all the way out.
We were like in 1999, probably the glacier was where we were standing, the ice cap. We would be on the glacier in 1999. Today we have to walk all the way there. But it's all a hoax, it's not happening, you know.
It's crazy how much it's moved in only like, what was that, 20 years? In 20 years, how much glacier has melted. You don't realize how big it is until you're up close, and it's like, it's huge and it goes way up the mountain.
So the volcano ash here is going to collect. It has collected on the ice. Where the deposits of volcano ash are thicker, they're going to protect the ice from melting, creating these volcano ash mountains. So you see these black piles of volcano ash that are going to pile up with ice underneath. You see the ice melting faster on the other side.
Huh. It's like glacier sunscreen.
Glacier sunscreen by the volcano.
As if it wasn't wild enough to be here and to be doing this on its own. It's even crazier thinking that, you know, in our lifetime, or maybe our grandkids, but at some point, walking on a glacier will have been an anomaly, you know? This little piece of time that we're living in is so crazy. So much is changing so quickly.
That piece right there hasn't seen the sun for how many
thousands of years.
Thousands and thousands
of
years.
Yeah, exactly. This froze some thousands of years ago.
Are you feeling Viking?
I feel like a badass. Look at that. I'm gonna chop some shit. Look.
Next one!
I'll definitely fall in if I try that, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I will get the power from the glacier. Ah! Oh. Oh, you're doing yoga.
That's so good. Ooh.
Best ever.
After learning the ins and outs of the glacier, it was time for Matt to bring us to the craziest place yet.
When he said ice cave, I thought he meant like a little cave that you could go kind of crawl into, not like a third as tall as the entire glacier. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
All the places you've been to, where would you rate this one?
Iceland or this cave?
This cave.
Definitely in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
as far as uniqueness and beauty and just... And I was thinking about that the other night. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to beaches and clear water and reef that you just take me out of that zone and everything's like, whoa, just like if you took somebody from here to Caribbean, they might feel the same. But I think it's a little bit of that, but mostly just because everything is so beautiful. And so what, you can climb up inside?
Yeah, we're gonna do that now. Let's go. Let's go.
You don't have any. Use gravity. The secret force. The secret force. Gravity.
This is compressed. It's like annual rings in a tree.
And you can actually see it here. It is about an inch thick. Here there has been a massive volcano activity when this was formed. Some tens of thousands of years ago.
I love seeing the definition of these layers.
Everything's just like frozen in time.
Wow. You should never plan your vacation in Iceland. You should just book a seat in my car.
There you go. A little bit of self-promotion.
Let me do it. You don't know anything about it. I'll take you there.
Pretty much midnight. The sun is just starting to set. There's fog everywhere. And we're gonna go pass out for a little bit.
Oof. those crazy 12 hours.
It's so comfy, I don't want to get up. Should I get up?
Iceland. Wow, what a place. In just 10 days, it changed the way we look at our world. The land of fire and ice could not be a more fitting name to explain everything she has to offer.
Fuck, man. This place is incredible. You get so used to seeing beaches and white sand and crystal clear water, and then you get thrown into an environment where there's like snow and glaciers and ice cold air, and it's just, oh man, it really makes you appreciate everything else you normally see in life. Changes your brain up a little bit.
Up next, we make it back to Delos!
Right where we left her.
We tackle a mountain of work in the boatyard, like repairing the keel, accidentally breaking our bow thruster, and experimenting with a new type of bottom paint.
It's like could be on 1,000 ways to die or something. Drop weights to your ankles and go down.
Yeah.
Try and drink beer underwater. Like it? I like it a lot.
Change, yeah, my brother is, I left my brother in Dominican Republic, so take both sides of the same coin, one in the warm and the other in the cold.
Cool, man.
Yeah, not enough space for both of us. Too loud, too Italian, too loud in the same place. So.
Only one Italian.
Only one is specific.
How many
for just
Italians
one.
are in Iceland?
Probably 4.
Okay.
What's your way to know that someone definitely is or is not Icelandic?
I would say just look at the way people dress. Now it's a bit cold, so I'm wearing like my wind jacket and then just the sweater. All the tourists would be wearing jackets and hats and maybe, yeah, a lot more layers.
Maybe 5 different layers looking like this as we sit inside the van.
We have the sagas of Grettir the Strong One and all the Vikings, which are gonna be very heroic. They're gonna be a little bit like Billy the Kid. They kill at the age of 4. They had their first kill, go home, drink a beer and write a poem about it.
It's like Encino Man is in there.
You're like a energy-friendly superhero. This is your cape. Solar panel cape. Oh god. Don't hurt yourself.
It charges my legs.
Is it?
Yeah.
Chimney, canyon, waterfall.
How do you say it then?
Strampgljúfrarfoss. Gljúfrar.
Glúra.
Gljúfrar.
Glúfra.
Gljúfrar.
Glúfrar.
Rar.
Ra.
Rar.
Ra.
Rar.
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 What's it say on it? Neftobak.
Yeah, which means nose tobacco.
Nose tobacco. That just doesn't sound right.
And it's just like...
Oh!
Is that what you expected?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting.